last week, 2 days in a row, we had an Amazon truck pull up and we were the only thing in that truck.
Wow.
We're the only delivery. One guy is like, I've got 125 packages in here for you. Okay.
Welcome everybody to another Zoomcast of Why Richmond is Awesome. I'm Alex Glazer, local real estate agent at the Glazer Group. And we also have our co-host Sam Knipe of the Richmond Experience. Always good to see you, Sam. And our guest today is Elizabeth from Richmond Animal League. She's the executive director of RAL. Did I get that right?
You did. You absolutely got it right.
And if you follow us at all, you probably know that we're big dog and cat people. We support Richmond Animal League a ton. And I was just curious to find out from Elizabeth, like, how was the last month, like, change things? Is there anything different that we as a community can do to help you help the pets better now that everything's a little bit different?
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for having me on. Thanks to the Glazers, who are huge supporters of Richmond Animal League in so many different ways, as supporters, advocates, adopters, serving on committees, attending events. You guys do it all. So we're super appreciative of you guys and everything that you do. And Sam, you've also helped promote us as well. So thank you very much. So we're happy to be on today. You know, it has just been a weird month for all of us. And so for us in animal welfare, we are essential. We've got pets that we need to make sure are taken care of. So we're not working from home. But as with everybody else, things just happen quickly and we had to make decisions, and we'd make one decision in the morning and by the end of the day, it would be completely different. So it's been crazy. So we can start with where we are now and kind of where we ended up a month later and what's happening. So Richmond Animal League, we're still doing adoptions. We're still doing intakes from our animal control partners. It's slowed down a little bit with the intakes just because we need to be a little bit more careful about protecting ourselves and what we can bring in and what we can handle. Also, we've placed every pet into a foster home, which is fantastic. We put a call out a little over a month ago asking for people to sign up for fostering. We've had over 400 people respond. We don't have 400 pets, but what we want to do is just make sure that when we bring those animals in and we put them in foster homes, we're doing that in a careful way so that we don't overwhelm anybody. So we have brought in quite a few dogs and cats. We placed them in foster. What hasn't slowed down really is adoptions. For a little bit of time it did, just because we had to figure out how to do adoptions virtually. But once we figured that process out, we're doing them. And we have so many people who are ready to adopt and wanting to adopt that we can't even keep up with that.
What a better time to have a puppy and train it when you're home all day long.
Yeah.
Yes.
When you can do multiple bathroom breaks. Yeah.
Yeah. And we pulled numbers yesterday, we've actually done more adoptions in April of this year than we did last year.
Wow.
So it's awesome. The team is rocking it. We divided Richmond Animal League into 2 teams. So we're here, a part is here Sunday through Tuesday. And then the other team is Wednesday through Friday. So I'm on Wednesday team. So I'm actually in the shelter today. And then I'll go back to working from home tomorrow. So that's a little bit about what we're doing. I could give you a whole spiel, but what do you specifically want to know? And then I can address a little bit more, because I could talk to you for 45 minutes about everything that we've done and what's going on.
Like, I know you have a huge volunteer base, and I know that right now you're not doing like volunteers helping you. Is that correct?
Yeah, we've had to cut back on all of our volunteers. We have over 500 of them. We want them here as much as they want to be here. So we're missing them dearly. We have a couple of things that our volunteers have been doing for us in order for us to save money. We had to cut back on our lawn service, and we have a lot of grass and weeds and mulchy areas. So we have some volunteers who are coming to do that for us. They can do it safely, socially distanced, and it's a great way to help us save some funds right now. We have, we started a food pantry. That's not something that we've ever had before, but we knew that right now, with people not having steady income, we don't want anybody to have to lose their pets because they can't feed them. And it's so important for us to make sure that they have access to that food. So we started a food pantry, and every day the amount of packages coming in is just fantastic. Last week, 2 days in a row, we had an Amazon truck pull up, and we were the only thing in that truck.
Wow.
You're the only delivery. One guy is like, I've got 125 packages in here for you. Okay. But that just creates a lot of recycling. So we've had volunteers who have been coming up. We, box it all up and put it in our recycling bins, and then they've come and picked up that. But we've been asking our volunteers just to be advocates for us online, promoting fostering, adoption. We've been Zooming with them too, and just keeping in contact with them. They've been doing a lot of trainings. This year, a big thing at Richmond Animal League is we wanted to really push fear-free, and there's a fear-free shelter training. And so many of our volunteers are using the time that they would normally spend in the shelter. They're taking that training online. So that's fantastic. And then
What is that program?
It's to reduce, so the program itself is to teach ways in which we can reduce fear, anxiety, and stress in pets when they're in the shelter, when they're being transported in. And so when the pet stress is lower, it's also our stress is lower. And when our stress is lower, theirs is. And so it really talks a lot about what are some of the things that we can be implementing in the shelter to create a better environment for those pets while they're here or when they're in foster care. It's a 4-part series. It takes about 8 hours to complete. And then you get a nice certificate when you're all done. Our staff has completed it. Everybody on our staff has done that. So now we're really excited for the volunteers to do that. I will ask me a question in a little while about like, what can you do at home? And I'll tell you more about what you can do with fear-free with your own pets too. But so those are some of the ways that we're engaging our volunteers at this time. We're also moving our orientation to be online. And once that's done, we'll be taking applications again for volunteers so that they can go ahead and do the online portion of the orientation. So once our doors are back open, we'll be able to do the in-person training, but they've already gone through that first step.
It's kind of interesting how this is forcing like all companies and organizations to do things differently. And I imagine a lot of what we're doing, like doing virtual stuff, will carry over to kind of just streamline. Like I know we did something similar, like with my clients, when you buy and sell a house, a lot of it is the exact same process. We let people borrow our moving truck after they close. And instead of me giving a 15-minute spiel on like how to use the truck, we made a video and we send it to them with the paperwork ahead of time. It's just streamlined, more people can use it quicker and easier. So I imagine that's just with all businesses and organizations, things like that will probably stick around.
Yeah, we're excited about some of the things that we're learning now that we've been forced to learn or do, and how that's going to change what we're going to do once we get back to whatever normal looks like afterwards. So it's as tough as it is, we're also looking at that win of, hey, we're actually going to be able to do something a little bit different and hopefully have a bigger impact in the community.
Elizabeth, I know you said that you guys have been doing really awesome with fosters and adoptions. Are you finding that that's kind of the norm, not just at RAL, but throughout the Richmond region?
It's not just the Richmond region, it's nationally. I'm on another Zoom call every Monday morning that brings in people from across the nation to talk about what's happening in animal welfare. And across the board, we're seeing fostering being huge. So many shelters are partly empty or completely empty because people are stepping up to foster. So it absolutely is something that is carrying on. And we know that it's happening in Richmond as well, but it's definitely happening throughout. Now, there's some areas that don't have fostering programs, so they can't take advantage of that now. A lot of our animal control partners are pretty small and in some rural areas and not a lot of staff, so that's not something that they've had. One of the things that's really exciting for us is they're ready to talk about what would it look like to make a foster program. So we're going to be using that time to talk with our animal control partners if they don't already have that in existence. What would it take and what would they need from their county or their city to get that started? Because we know it's going to die down a little bit once everybody goes back home, but I think everybody's kind of gotten a taste of what fostering looks like and how easy it can be. And that we're hoping that we're going to continue to see the movement of more fostering and adoptions because so many people have been able to be involved with it at this time.
Makes sense.
That's awesome.
And I know so much about RAL. I forget, maybe we should share a little bit more to everyone else who doesn't know RAL as well as we do. But if you want to get into like how you work with the other rural shelters, just a little bit more just about RAL in general.
Yeah. So Richmond Animal League was started back in 1979. This past year, we celebrated 40 years. We do have a brick and mortar building that's in Chesterfield, right across from Chesterfield Town Center. And what our goal is to help reduce euthanasia in our municipal shelters. So in the state of Virginia, every city or county either has their own shelter or has a contract with somebody for it. And we're here to support them and those partners and to reduce euthanasia that's happening there. So whatever they would potentially need resource-wise, we're trying to help. So the first big thing that we do is to transfer in animals from our animal control partners. We work with over 25 different cities and counties throughout Central Virginia. And that's our main thing, is to transfer them in. But we've also done a lot of other things like help with ringworm. Cats get ringworm really easily. It's very easily transmitted in a shelter and it could be a death sentence. But we've worked with a lot of our partners to teach them how to treat it so that they can take care of it and it not become so overwhelming. We also, of course, have our spay neuter clinic, and we work with many of our municipal shelters to bring animals into the clinic and get them spayed and neutered before they go back out into adoption. That is unfortunately something that we've had to stop at this point. Spay neuter is not an essential surgery right now unless it has to be done for an emergency medical reason. So we have had to stop that. We can't wait for that to get back going, but that is another way that we help our animal control partners as well. So we bring in the pets, we do whatever they need medically to help them get to a healthy level or treatable, manageable, and then we adopt those guys back out into the community.
And because you're not directly like associated with a county or a city, Richmond Animal League doesn't get any public funding, does it? It's all private?
It's all private funding. We don't get anything from anywhere, nor are we associated with any larger national organization. So we don't get any money there. If we were to get any money from that way, it would just be because we've done a grant and we've gotten that, which is on my list of things to do today. I actually have a grant to write and submit today to hopefully get some extra funding for our foster program during COVID. So yes, we rely all on individual donations on, we have a couple companies that do support us. Of course, the Glazers are huge supporters of Richmond Animal League. So we thank you so much for the life sustaining funds that you guys provide us and the life saving work that you guys do that way. But it is all donations. And I have to say, our community in Richmond is really amazing. Why Richmond's awesome is because they're awesome. And they have really been stepping up and helping us. We don't have any funds coming in through our clinic, but we still want to make sure that our whole staff is paid at this point. So we do have, we're suffering there a little bit, but we're seeing some really generous supporters in our community that are helping us make sure that our staff continues to be here, but more importantly, that we're continuing the same level of care that we've always been able to provide to the community.
And just for me personally, I like that it is like a small local organization. So when I donate money, I can sleep comfortably knowing like 100% of it is going to go toward the pets and not. I've just heard stories of like big charities, not even pet related, where like CEOs are just patting their pockets, and that's why I'm like hesitant to donate to a lot of stuff. But like I know you guys so well, I'm like I know it's all of it's going to a good cause. That's why I love giving you guys money.
Oh, well, thank you. And you know, I think that we have always been great stewards of money. We've always been very conscious and careful about how we're spending the donations. But even, you know, so much more during this time, we're even more so. I didn't know that we could be, but we can be, you know, just with the example of having some volunteers come in and help us cut the grass where we may have paid someone to do that before, since it is pretty large. Really just being very, very careful to make sure that we continue on that stewardship path even more so now than we have in the past.
And I guess the big thing is like, how can the community help support Richmond Animal League right now? And obviously, donations are always great. For me, I like donations because then you're in the know. You know what you need. You know what other shelters may need, so you can just do it versus us just guessing. But I imagine, do you have like with all those Amazon packages? Do you have a wish list? Is that where all that's coming from?
We do. We have a wish list right now. We also during this time, and I hope it's something that we'll continue with as well, is some of our animal control partners who need things. We've created some wish lists for them as well. So you can support a couple that have reached out to us that need some things. But yeah, we've got the wish list going right now. We're really asking for items that we can put in the food pantry. So we've got food and litter coming in. And we've got people picking it up, and we've got people saying like, look, I haven't had a paycheck in 6 weeks, and it's feeding me, feeding my dog, or having to make some sort of decision. And so we're able to provide that food right now. And that's so amazing that that's one less thing that somebody needs to worry about, that they've got that food. So our wish list does have a lot of that on there. Kitten season is coming. I would be really remiss if I didn't talk about that, because I think our community is going to need a lot of support when that happens. So a lot of the things on our list right now also are directed at kittens and what kittens may need when they come in. And we're going to have a lot of people in the community who we may be asking to go ahead and take care of those kittens in their house and foster them, but we can be helping them with supplies during that time to make sure that the kittens are getting what they need. So yeah, the wish list is always something that if you want to do that tangible thing, it's always great. Right now, it's definitely going to help our whole community.
And where would be the best place for people to find, whether the easiest way to donate directly to RAL or get to the wish list?
On our website, ral.org, really easy. There's a couple of different ways that you can find it. There's big donate buttons on the front page. We really have a whole, what are we doing for COVID-19 and the response there, to give you an idea with our foster sign up, information on how our adoption process is different, links to our wish list for our pet pantry, and anything else. Again, the donate link is right there as well. So hopefully you can easily navigate the website and find that.
And is the food pantry, is that based off like the wish list, or is it like, hey, just bring any sort of dog or cat food, and it's just in like a giant bin out front?
We've had some people drop off donations, but we're really asking for kind of specific dog and cat food that's, I don't want to say generic, but can kind of be, it is nice enough, but it can be used for big dogs, small dogs, all kind of cats, that sort of thing. So we really built our wish list around things that we know that anybody could really use. So those have specific brands, or also I've been stocking the pantry. I'm not great like you guys are at exercising all the time. So those big 50-pound bags are a little big for me to be carrying around. So we've got on there some smaller bags and that sort of thing too, just for anyone to be able to pick up and easily be able to get out of our pantry, or if we need to do a delivery, or just for us stocking wise. So we're asking too for some of the smaller bags as well.
And the pantry is just like, if you need it, come and get it. And
right now, we still have it open 24/7. We have underneath the eave at Richmond Animal League, it's all covered. And so we have kind of a old kennel system. So it looks like cubbies. And we've been putting in, some cat area, dog dry, dog food, wet and dry, cat food, wet and dry. And then if you need specific help, or if you can't get here, we've been taking those calls as well. And we'll be doing deliveries out to homes that need it, since we know that that is, we don't, again, want transportation to be a barrier either. So we've got a lot of volunteers who have signed up to be able to help with that. And as people are calling or emailing in, we're setting that up so that we can transport that back out to them. Awesome.
And I know you said to remind you, there's things that people can do at home for the Fear Free.
Yes. So Fear Free has a shelter program, but they also have one for adopters or fosters. And it's Fear Free Homes. And it's a great website to go to sign up on and get information of how to just create a better environment for your own pet. So to reduce stress. It was really all started with more of the veterinary movement, because I don't know about you guys, but I know I get anxiety just to going to the doctor, but certainly our pets can get a lot of anxiety about going to the vet. And so it was really about how to make that a comfortable experience for them. But now we're looking at how to make everything comfortable. So one thing that we've really been stressing to our adopters and our fosters right now is, I don't know about you guys, but like I've even heard that the dogs are giving up, that they're done. They've gotten enough walks. They're tired. They don't want to go for walks anymore. But I think we're potentially conditioning some of our pets to be more accustomed to us being at home. And once we go back to being out of the home more, we may see more anxiety in our pets from being left alone and separation anxiety. So just being aware of that now, but the Fear Free Homes has a lot of good information about dealing with separation anxiety, and then a ton of other wonderful, cool things that you can do just to keep your pet stimulated during this time or any time. But we should probably all be aware that our pets may have a hard time adjusting to us going back to work. And so what can we be doing now just to make sure that we're not setting them up for that anxiety when that happens? Or maybe they're really anxious now because they hate the fact that we're with them at all times and they don't get their private time too, so.
Either or. All right. Well, Sam, can you think of any other questions? I know I could probably talk to Elizabeth all day.
I know we love dogs. So like, yeah, we could definitely chat about it all day. And it's funny you brought up the Fear Free thing, because I was thinking last night, we're getting so used to being around the dogs 24/7. And I'm like, I really hope they don't get anxious when we start leaving the house more. And so we've been taking them for a lot of walks, but now we're starting to take some walks, just the two of us, just to remind them, like, remember, we leave, the door shuts, you guys are home alone, and we come back. So don't panic. So definitely excited to check out that resource.
Yeah.
All right. So I imagine if anyone else wants to find out any more information, it's probably on Richmond Animal League's website. We'll put as much of this information in the description as well. Elizabeth, I can't thank you enough for you and everyone at Richmond Animal League does, staff, volunteers, fosters. Y'all are amazing. I know you say thank you to us, but you do all the hard work. We do the easy part.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
It's super rewarding, and it's wonderful to still be here and be able to help. And like I said, we're doing some different things and being creative, and so we're excited to be able to have the support in place that we can try some new things and be creative and have that flexibility, so that we can make sure that we're doing what our community needs at this time. So that gives us a little bit of energy going forward of, yes, we're coming in every day, but we're trying new things, and we can absolutely see that we're making a difference in the community right now. So that feels really good. So thank you.
And to wrap up, what's your Instagram handle? Because I know you guys post tons of really cute photos of dogs and cats and kittens and puppies.
Yes, thank you. Our Instagram is RALPics, PICS. And right now we're doing some takeovers with our staff as well. And so we're just kind of switching up that content. So that's fun. So you can meet more of our staff on Instagram. But yes, we have plenty of cute pictures of pets, and we certainly enjoy sharing all those. And
are you still drawing pets for donations?
Yes, we're still drawing pets for donations. So
I love ours so much.
Oh, good. So, because our pets, we're not taking vacations right now. Our pets are certainly not taking vacations. For a small donation, our staff is creating artwork of your pet on a trip. So where did your pets go, Alex?
So Miko was in a canoe while she was camping. David was surfing with sharks. Like there were sharks in the water and she was surfing around them. And maybe was on a beach or an island of sorts. So I don't know if we've posted them on our Instagram yet. If not, I'll make sure to send them to you, Sam. They're really cute.
That sounds so awesome.
Yeah. And that's also, I think, been a great way for our staff has really enjoyed that, giving them a little something that they can do from home. It's hard to work from home when you're used to actually taking care of animals. So they're enjoying being able to do that, and clearly putting some creativity into it as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, everyone watching. Donate to Richmond Animal League. Follow them on Instagram. And hope everyone else is staying well and safe.
Thank Thank you.
Bye. Thanks, Elizabeth.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks for listening. Why Richmond is Awesome podcast is hosted by Sean and Sam Knipe of the Richmond Experience and Lauren and Alex Glazer of the Glazer Group Realtors. It is produced and edited by Miles A.G. Productions. Our theme song is RVA All Day by No BS Brass Band. Please rate us and leave a review on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts. And follow us at whyrichmondisawesome.com and on Instagram at The Richmond Experience and at Why Richmond is Awesome.